one. This is the movie number 2 for Access Chapter 1, the Prepare Case. And in the first movie, we did steps 1 through 4. I believe in this movie, we can get through the rest of this assignment. So we're going to pick up on step 5. I have the rubric on the left. I have my table participants in my Prepare Putz database open. And remember, participants is the table that we created and imported information into. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close that and open up our pane here that has all of our different objects. And we're on step 5. And step 5 is, excuse me, is on page 69 and 70 in your textbook. So we're going to use the Query Wizard to select all of these fields and save it as Albuquerque, Query Albuquerque. So just to refresh your memory, a query is, I like to think of it as a question. So you're asking something about data, and that data can reside in a single table, multiple tables, tables and other queries, and you're pulling this data, and based on what you set up, it returns a result set. And that result set is like the answer to your question. And so our question right now is, hey, I want to see last name, first name, and city for all of our participants that are in the city of Albuquerque. I want to see how many people are in Albuquerque. So I'm going to begin this query, and there's a couple steps that we're going to do here, right? So really step 5, 6, and 7 are all about the query. The first one is creating the query. The second one is adding a criteria, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the last step would be sorting it and saving it. So to begin, we're going to create something new. So we always go to that Create tab. And on the Create tab, we have tables, queries, forms, and reports. Those are your objects. We have macros, which we're going to talk about way later in the class. So these are the 4 main objects, right? Tables, queries, forms, and reports. So I'm going to go to the object query, and I want to do a query wizard. Now, almost always I do not begin a query with the wizard, but since this is just really kind of an introduction, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do a simple query wizard. And the first thing it's going to bring up is this Query Wizard screen. And right here, it's saying, okay, well, what are you building this query off of? Well, I was sitting on participants, so it comes up to participants. If you were sitting on any other table, it would come up with a different table here. So first thing is you always want to make sure you have the table selected. Then we're going to move through here, and we're going to pick in the order that they're listed. We're going to move them from this left side to the right side. So last name, and I usually just double click, first name, and city. Those are the 3 pieces of information that I want in this query. I'm going to go ahead and say next. What do I want to call this query? Well, right there it tells me QRY. That kind of identifies what type of object this is, and it's going to be called Albuquerque. And then I'm going to go ahead and say finish. All right, so it brings up this answer set. So if I ask about the question, I'd be saying, okay, show me last name, first name, and city from the table participants. Okay, but what I'm missing, so we're done with this piece. What I'm missing is, what am I doing? Is the where part, right? Because really we only want the people in Albuquerque, but look, I've got all of these cities in there, all of them. I limited what data I'm showing in terms of the fields, but I didn't limit the records or rows in my result set. So what I need to do is I need to go back. So if I go home, I go back to my view button here and I use this top part. That toggles me between design, datasheet, design, datasheet. So I'm just clicking on that button back and forth. It switches between setting up and asking the question and getting the answer or result set. So if I come back to where I'm designing it, see, and this happened when we did the wizard. We didn't do that manually, but really from this point on, we're going to do most of them manually. So we switch to design view. That's what this is. Type Albuquerque in the criteria row of the city field. So if I go back and I modify my question, hey, show last name, first name, city from the table participants where the city equals Albuquerque. So I need to put that where clause on here. So I'm going to come up here to city, find that column, and then come here where it says criteria, click right there, and we're going to type Albuquerque. Now, one of the things about Excel, I'm going to hit Access, I'm going to hit Tab, and look, it put the quotes around it, so I didn't have to worry about it. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is that there is no conditional operator there. No greater than, less than, equal sign. If you leave that off in Access, then it assumes an equal condition. So now if I run that query again, run, look, I now have only 3 records. I still get the same fields, last name, first name, city, but the rows are now reduced to just those in the city of Albuquerque. So this is done. And let's see, we're in 72 to 73. Okay, the last thing we need to do is sort. So I'm going to go back to design view. I use that button to go back here. Look for the sort row. What are we sorting? We're going to sort on last name. So I find last name, I find the sort row, ascending, and then first name, ascending. Run it again, and now they're in order by last name, and within last name, if they had duplicate last names, it would be in by first name. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Save button, and I am done with that. I'm done with these two, with this step, and I'm done with this step, and I'm here at Forms. All right, we're going to switch over to Forms. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of my query. Notice now I have in my object pane, I have 2 queries. One that was there when we started and then this new one. So anytime I want to run it, I just have to click on it and it runs it. Okay, so now we're at creating a form. And so that is on page 77. And we're going to create a form, right? So we want to be sitting on participants. We're going to create, and we're just going to click on this form. And it's kind of the easiest way that you can create a form. It doesn't give you a whole lot of flexibility, but it's a really easy way to get a quick and dirty form create, right? Just something that's nice to put data into. So we're just going to make, and the key here is when you're creating, you have to be on the object that you want to create the form on. So we're on table participants and I click on form and there it does. It creates it, right? So right now it's called table participant, not a good name for a form, right? Because TBL would mean it's a table. So we have this done. So now what we need to do is edit the title. Okay, so once again, we're in this view that allows us to change information, right? If I can click and see these orange boxes, I know I'm in like design view. If I switch over here and I click, do you see it won't let me click? It only lets me click in the fields. That's because I'm in form view. So we want to be in design view where you can see the orange boxes. We're going to change this TBL participant to participant form. And then we're going to do a save as file. No. Okay, I messed up there. I'm gonna have us do it a different way. So let's go ahead and save. There we go. So I clicked on the save, sorry. I clicked on the save button, and we're gonna call it FRM participants. Did I spell that right? Participants. Okay. And now it's actually the right thing. So we have that done. We have already edited that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use it to enter data. So I have to switch from this data sheet view where I'm changing how the form looks to actually using the form. So that's form view. So if I go over there, then you can see I'm only able to click where I can enter data. I come down here and I use that same little button with the arrowhead and the flash. It takes me to a new, and we're going to just type this in. Oops, I spelled that one wrong. So to move forward, you can do tab. To move backwards, you can do shift tab, or of course you can use your mouse to move. But if I have my hands on the keyboard, I like to be able to use the keyboard to navigate. 87002 505 555 3355. No corporate number. Notice here, look, pencil. Even though we're doing it in this form, the pencil's still there. So until that pencil goes away, this record has not been written to the table. All I need to do here is hit tab, and it's added it to the participant table and brought me to the next one where I can keep adding it. So we are done with our form. I'm going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to do a report. So a report is something I actually usually do with a wizard. So we're going to do create, and then we're going to find the button that says report wizard. And like these wizards, the first thing we're going to do is what table or query are we building this on? So let's learn how to read what they're saying. It says use the report wizard to create a report, display the following fields from table participant. So that's what I need to know here. That's the table. All right, in this order: last name, double click; first name, double click; city, double click; and then contact phone number, double click. And that's all I need. So I usually, before I go on, I just verify. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got the 4. Next. What do you want to add any grouping levels? Group the participants by city, right? So we're going to put city in there, and look at our little view. So what it's going to do, let me go back. So let me go back here. So right now, city would be in each row, right? And they would just be in the order, probably last name order. But we want to group it by city. So within cities, each city is going to list the participants. All right, and then sort by last name. So we're going to do next, what sort order? So within city, we're going to do by last name and by first name. Next, we want stepped and portrait. So both of those are okay. Next, we're going to save this as RPT participants by city. Finish. It's going to go and show us our report. Look, here's the city, here's the people. Remember, we only had 3 in Albuquerque. There's the same 3 people. So by city, it's showing you the participants. We are in print preview, so we're going to close that up, and it takes us to design view, which is a little intimidating right now. So what I want to do is come up here to the view, but not click on the top. I want to come down here and click on layout view. So layout view, look, I have the little orange boxes. It's kind of like format where I can make changes, but I'm not in that crazy design screen, which we're going to get to really soon, but just not right now. So what we want to do is in layout view, drag the left border of contact phone number. See how it's over here? Heading. So it's off the screen. So we're just going to drag it that way so that it shows up in its entirety, right? edit the title of the report. So we're going to come up here and click Tournament Participants by City. All right, now I'm going to click on Save, because when I'm in design, I gotta make change. I have to save the changes that I've made. All right, so if I go back to Report View, Print Preview, there it is. And so look, my contact phone number is showing. It's got the new title. Everything looks good. So now we're done with both this and this, and I forgot to give you the page numbers. I'm going to have to put those on before I start, so I'll remember. Okay, so we are done with this. So now we can close that out, go back to wrong. Where am I at? Okay, so I'm back to my Access Chapter 1 Prepare Case, the Putts for Paws charity. I've already downloaded. I'm going to choose a file to upload. And chapter, let's see, where did I save this? Probably in my downloads. So when I do this, I always verify. So today's the 12th and it's 10. Yep, so this is it. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to get out of it first, because that's what I told you. Oh, I did get out of it. Okay. Submit, choose a file. Downloads. Upload. It was submitted. I'm sorry, it's uploaded. We're going to submit it for grade. It has been submitted for grade. And it takes a few, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And what you should be able to do, not sure what's happening here. You should be able to view your grade, and I got 100, right? But if you didn't get 100, you can view your submission. Right? So it will show you the rubric and where you might have made a mistake. You can show a marked up report, which we'll talk about in a little bit later. You can download your submitted files. Let's say you didn't get 100 and you see, and on this one, really, most people just have a typing error, right? So you look at it and then you just compare, oh, shoot, I have an S here or something like that. So you could download, or you can use the file that you have on your system, fix it, resubmit it, and you can do that 3 times, up to 3 times. All right, so I am done with this the Chapter 1 Prepare Case. Please reach out to me if you have questions or problems.